Step 4. Be motivated by Mohandas Gandhi. In the video you just saw, you saw your first glimpse at Gandhi, who we're going to be studying a lot. Gandhi is the one that started that salt march to protest the tax that the British were putting on a lot of goods, including salt, that were making the Indians pay outrageous prices for something that is totally free. Gandhi used what he called civil disobedience. And this term, civil disobedience, we will also talk about a lot. Gandhi and civil disobedience go together. The nonviolent refusal to obey an unfair law. Indians all over the country began to follow his lead by boycotting British-made goods, refusing to attend second-class schools, and refusing to pay unfair taxes, just like the salt tax. These efforts began to hurt the British economy and make them angry. So in the video you saw that as Gandhi and all of his followers marched to the sea to make their own salt, it definitely made the British mad. They were making tons of money off of these Indian citizens, taxing them for salt and other goods that they needed, and they didn't like how Gandhi was starting this movement to go against the British. Here's a picture of Gandhi right here. You're going to see that picture a lot. And then here is a picture of one of his marches where he was marching people to protest against the British. Step 5. Get the Government of India Act passed. In 1935, the government passed the Government of India Act that gave India some self-control, self-government, and control. This was a start, but not the independence the Indians wanted. When World War II started, the British offered Indian dominion, which is a fancy word for control, and the British Empire if they would help with the war effort. This Government of India Act was something that Gandhi helped get passed. It was some of the control they wanted, but it definitely wasn't all the freedom that the Indians wanted. Gandhi and the National Congress, remember the National Congress was the Hindu group of Indians, refused the offer because they did not want to take sides in the war. So the British said, okay, you guys can help us in World War II. We'll give you some more control. Gandhi and the National Congress refused it. They said, we're not going to take sides. The Muslim League, however, the Muslim group of Indians, supported the British war effort because they were worried a more independent India would be led by the numerous Hindus. So in their thinking, they would be rewarded for their support after the war, even if they were the minority. There was a smaller group of Muslims, there were Hindus, and the Muslims were thinking, okay, when we get independence, it's definitely going to be the Hindu people in charge because there's more of them. If we get on the good side of the British, we could have more power. Here's a picture of the group of men who created the Government of India Act. You can see Gandhi right here. And a lot of British and Indian people got together to get this Government of India Act passed. Our last step, Step 6, survive the divisions after World War II. When World War II ended, the British finally decided to grant Indian independence. World War II was a very harsh and costly war for the British, so after the war, they finally gave the Indians the independence they really needed. However, by this time, the division between the Muslim and Hindu Indians had grown and tensions were high. So these two groups were against each other. They started out as two different groups with the same goal in mind, just to get Indian independence, but these two groups began to fight over the years and tensions were high. The British colonial leader decided the only way to solve the problem would be to divide the country into Muslim and Hindu sections. So the British leader decided we're going to split India into Muslim and Hindu sections, and so that way nobody will fight. The country of India was then divided into 3 sections. Hindu India was in the middle, with East and West Pakistan for the Muslims on either side. Already it sounded like it's not going to work. Leading up to 1947, millions of Muslims had to move out of India to either East or West Pakistan to leave Hindu India behind. There was a lot of fighting between these two groups during this time, but on August 15th, 1947, British control officially ended and the countries of India, East Pakistan, and West Pakistan were officially created. So already it's sounding like there's a lot of fighting, a lot of extra war going on because one of the British leaders decided to split everybody up. So here is a map that kind of shows you a better idea of what happened. So British India is all this space right here. Notice the Arabian Sea, the Bay of Bengal, some of our physical features. And by 1971, we have Pakistan, India, and this country called Bangladesh. But originally it was called, look over here, East Pakistan. So we had India in the middle. This was the Hindu land. And then we had West Pakistan and East Pakistan that were the Muslim land. And all of this fighting went back and forth between the border between West Pakistan and India and East Pakistan. In 1971, this East Pakistan did become Bangladesh, so even more change and chaos happened after these wars happened. So all this in the middle was the Hindu land, and everybody that was in this middle land that was Muslim had to move either to West Pakistan or East Pakistan, even if their families, even if they had been living in this area for hundreds, even thousands of years. They had to move away from their family's land because they were Muslim into this Muslim West Pakistan or Muslim East Pakistan. Same thing, if you were Hindu living in either of these two areas, you had to move into this Hindu land of India now. So there's a lot of moving, a lot of chaos, and a lot of fighting when the Indians got their independence. So just to sum it up, we have all the way from British control, our 6 steps, all the way to independence. We had Gandhi helping along the way. We had the Rowlatt Act, which let the British put the Indians into jail for up to 2 years without a trial. We had the Salt March, where Gandhi took a group of people to the ocean to peacefully protest this salt tax, all the way to the Government of India Act, where we had some government, some control in the government, and all the way to Indian independence, even though the British kind of left India with a little bit of chaos between the Hindu and the Muslims. But that is your 6 steps from British control all the way to Indian independence.